What's going on, everyone? My name is Carlos, also known as Anomaly, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So at the start of this year, I decided that it was time to make a YouTube channel. You know, I've been trading for about 4 years now in the futures markets, and I've always wanted to make a YouTube channel. I've always wanted to, create content and document my journey in trading, and I just felt like now was the time to do it. I decided this year I wanted to make a YouTube channel, and I wanted this YouTube channel to be a place where not only can I document my journey and bring you guys along for the ride, make you guys a part of my trading journey, but I also want to be able to share the experience that I've gained over the past 4 years of trading futures. It's been a wild ride. It's had many ups and it's also had many downs. And I wanted to be able to share my experience with you guys and hopefully help any type of trader, whether you're a beginner trader, intermediate trader, more advanced trader, whoever you are, wherever you're at in your trading journey. I want this channel to be a place to where any type of trader can get value and enjoy the content that I put out. So I thought for this first video, it'd be a good idea to share my trading journey up until this point and talk about how I started and what got me to where I am today. So I know in the beginning of the video I said I've been trading futures for about 4 years, and that's specifically futures because I actually started trading in the stock market about 8 years ago. So I started with my dad. Me and him both got into it around the same time, and we saw the potential that was there, and we wanted to start trading penny stocks. So I remember I opened the Robinhood account and I funded it with about $100 at the time, and I was just so excited to get started and hopefully make money. Right, and I still remember my first trade that I ever took out. I was actually in my college class, and I bought this stock that I really had no reason to buy. I just went off of what I saw. It looked like it was going up, so I just bought it. I had no idea what I was doing, and that trade actually worked out tremendously. I think I made like $40 on it, so it was like a 40% increase on the $100 I put in, which, in the stock world, I mean, that's a crazy return, right? And at the time I didn't know it. I thought that was kind of just normal, but I was just super happy. I just thought, wow, like this is it. I found my thing. I found what I want to do, and I'm just gonna make a bunch of money doing it. And then I started kind of learn the other side of it, right? How you can lose money and how much money you actually need to make significant amounts of money, right? With the PDT rule, only being able to trade 3 times a week, really limited me. And as much as I loved stock trading, I just felt like in order to make money that was actually significant enough for me to either live off of or just truly enjoy, I needed more than the money that I had in my account. But I still kept trading just to learn and really refine my skills, and I was actually able to take that account from being at the $100 I started at to about $2,000. So that was over like a 2-year period. So I mean, that was a crazy return. I mean, from going from not knowing anything to trading my own money in the stock world and being able to get to that point, it wasn't life-changing money. It wasn't anything super, it didn't change my life at all, right? But what it did was it showed me the possibility of really learning this skill and refining it to the point where I can then take $2,000 and now make that into 4, make that into 8, and just continue to make money. But just how slow it was just really, well, in a sense, discouraged me, right? Having to only be able to trade 3 days a week, or take 3 trades a week, was very limiting and got annoying, especially when it's, if you're on a loss streak, if you have 2 losses in a week, you feel like you wasted time. You feel like, you just want to get back in the market, right? So it did discourage me a bit, but I still had a passion for the markets and the whole idea of trading. And, I took several breaks here and there from trading, but I remember it was around like at the end of like the 4-year mark, going into COVID, was when I discovered futures. I remember seeing a random futures video on YouTube, and I saw, the differences compared from futures to stocks. And instantly, my eyes lit up. The passion was there. The fire was lit because I saw the potential in the futures market in comparison to the stock market. I didn't need as much money to trade. I wasn't under the PDT rule. I could take as many trades as I want in a day, in a week. It didn't matter. And the potential for money was virtually limitless, right? And that really brought me into trading the futures markets. So I paper traded for a bit. I think it was about a month. I paper traded and just trying to learn how the futures market worked. And I'm not gonna lie, I came into it with a little bit of an ego, right? Thinking I've been trading for 4 years, I know what I'm doing. This should be easy. And in my paper trading, I did experience a good amount of success. I mean, I remember taking the paper trading account. I made like 10 grand in that month paper trading. So I thought, all right, here I am. I made 10 grand in a practice account. I think I'm ready to move on to real money and kind of stop, in my eyes, what I thought was wasting my time in a practice account. So I remember I took $3,000 and I deposited it into my TradeAvate account. And that is when I experienced the true up and down of trading in the futures market, and just how quickly you can make money. You can also lose it and lose a lot of it. And since this was the first time I was seeing gains and losses to this extent, I was not prepared. Trading your own money is completely different than trading a practice account, and this is really where I learned it, right? Because even in the stock world, if I invested 2 grand into a stock, because I was day trading it, I wasn't in these plays for very long, so at most I would lose, $100, maybe 150. I wasn't risking so much on these trades, and if I made money, it was around the same amount. Sometimes I had bigger trades, right? But wasn't seeing any crazy fluctuations. Versus, when I started trading futures, I would get in a trade, and sometimes I'm instantly up $300 or $400, or instantly down $300 or $400. And on a $3,000 account, that's pretty significant, right, for just a singular trade. And seeing that fluctuation immediately made me nervous, immediately made me trade scared. I mean, looking at my trade report, I remember I had trades that lasted 15 seconds or 5 seconds, just because I was so scared of being exposed to the market for much longer than that. And obviously that's no way to trade. And in about a week, I burned through that $3,000. And this was one of the most devastating things that happened to me in my trading. I remember, blowing through that money. And this is at a time in my life where I didn't really have $3,000 to blow through. That was money I saved over a longer period of time. And COVID had just happened. So, my main income, my job was being affected by that. So I really didn't have $3,000 to waste. And it kind of felt like I just burned through what was supposed to kind of carry me through this moment in my life. So it was very difficult, but even amongst that difficulty and the sadness and everything you feel when you lose that type of money, I also felt that passion, that fire was still there, because I saw the potential that, hey, had this gone differently, I could have easily made that $3,000 in the week and been extremely happy. So I decided to keep going, and I went back to a practice account, kept trading, kept watching videos online, really trying to learn what was different between stock world and the futures market, and learning how I can be successful in the futures market. And in watching those videos and going online and looking through things, that's when I discovered topstep. And to me, topstep was a complete game changer. It was a way where I didn't have to lose $3,000 to learn how to trade in the futures market. I can buy a combine, which at the times the $50,000 combine, those were $150 back in the day. I could spend $150 and get myself in the markets, right, and get exposed to the markets. And if I blew a combine, I only really lost $150. And if I was able to pass these combines, then I got funded with $50,000 that I could actually trade with. So to me, it was just a no-brainer. It was a big game changer for me. And I thought that this was it. This was what was going to propel me to, finding success in trading and just really just make me the millionaire trader that I wanted to be, right? And although I had that optimism, obviously I soon learned that it was not that easy, even with, doing it through topstep. It was not that easy. Back then, it was actually 2 steps to pass the combine. It wasn't just one like it is now. And they also had way more rules back then. It was a lot stricter back then to pass these combines than it is now. And it took me months to pass the 50K combine. I was working on developing my strategy. I was finding what indicators worked for me, what time frames worked for me. It was a lot of learning throughout this time period. And, there were times where I would pass the first step and I felt super accomplished, but then fail in the second step and had to reset. or made it all the way to the second step, almost passed. There was a time where I remember I needed like $400 to pass the second step and get a funded account, and then I bombed out and failed. And it just felt like no matter what I did, I reached the end and failed. I reached to a certain point and failed. But throughout all those lows, my passion was still at an all-time high because I saw the potential. I kept my eyes on the goal that I had set out for myself way back when, even with my dad. I remember me and my dad used to have conversations when we were trading stocks in the beginning, and we used to look online and see all these influencers making, a bunch of money trading. And we always, thought, how cool would it be if we were able to make that type of money? We saw ourselves in those positions. We knew that one day we'd be able to become traders that, had a $500 winning day, had a $1,000 winning day, and we're making 10 grand a month or whatever the amount was. We saw ourselves being successful traders. So that goal stuck with me from being in stocks even through to being in the futures trading now. And I'm super thankful for my dad because he's been my trading buddy throughout all these years. And I remember throughout this time where I was failing, he was always there, encouraging me, always there, pushing me forward and reminding me of the things we used to say when we were trading stocks about how, we knew that we could be successful traders. We knew that we could make it one day. And he would always remind me of that and remind me of the goals that we set out for ourselves. So that always kept me going, kept me encouraged to keep on moving forward. And eventually I started to see progress in my trading, right? In the beginning, what took me 2-3 months to pass the first step in a combine, now I'm passing the first step in 1 month. And then it started to become weeks. Then it started to become days. And I started to see that I'm able to pass these steps quicker. And I finally was able to start to get into funded accounts. But now, it's like you go over one hill and then you see you're only halfway up the mountain, right? I was able to pass combines now, but I started immediately bombing out in funded accounts, and I couldn't figure out why. It was obviously just a change in importance, right? After a while, you get used to trading combines. It loses its, I guess, like the fear factor of losing money and all that. You start to kind of lose that, become desensitized to that, and you just realize it's just a test. But when you're in a funded account now, it's the real deal. Now you can make money in this account, and if you lose it, it's devastating. It took you weeks to pass it, so you don't want to lose it immediately. And again, just with that fear in mind, it completely took over my trading. And I just wasn't able to trade like myself in the funded level, and I continued to bomb out. I remember the first time I got funded, it took me months to get there. I get funded and I blew out in 2 days. And I remember just sitting down at my desk after the last trading day and just thinking, it took me months to pass a combine and to get to this point where I'm in a funded account. And I lost that funded account in 2 days. And just the thought of, I would have to put in another few months of work just to get back to where I was. And I can possibly blow it again in a few days. It was very scary and very disheartening, but I kept going and I kept pursuing the goal that I set out for myself and kept feeling that fire within me. I had a passion for trading. I loved trading, and that's what kind of brought me through those low moments that even though everything in me wanted to quit and just give up and move on, I still had that fire in me that didn't let me quit. And I'm thankful for that because eventually all that hard work paid off. It came to a point where I was able to get into a funded account and I would have maybe a few green days and then bomb out, or whatever the situation was, I would have a little bit of success but then fail out. Then it got to the point where I was just able to trade like myself. I was able to focus on my process, take the necessary trades, be disciplined, and ultimately achieve my first payout. I remember it was a time where I would lock myself out, and this was before topstep X. This was before we had the lockout feature. This was just me exercising a certain level of discipline, right, to fully stop myself out after reaching my profit target for the day. And I was just trying to be as disciplined as possible to get to the 5-day winning mark and get to my payout. And I remember, it was a crazy stretch, right? But I was able actually to make $2,000 for 4 days in a row. And then the last day I actually made $4,000. So I ended that week up $12,000, and I was eligible for a payout at that point, and I remember I immediately took it. I was so excited, and my first payout ended up being a payout of $6,000. And I remember just the adrenaline I felt once I closed those trades, just the happiness I felt. It was years of work. It was years of frustration, anger, depression, everything you want to say, all the negative stuff, and also some positives, right? But it was all of that blood, sweat, and tears that I put into my trading and really refining myself as a person. It was finally coming full circle. It felt rewarding, right? I felt like I was finally rewarded for the time and for the hard work that I put into my trading. And I was also proud of the number, right? I always thought if I get a payout, my first payout would probably be $1,000, $2,000. To be able to make $12,000 in a week, get a $6,000 payout that week was something I didn't think I was really gonna achieve for another few years. And to be able to do that it truly solidified to me that this is where I wanted to be, this is what I wanted to do, and the potential in this. Not once in my life have I ever seen that type of money in a week, right? Based off a week's amount of work. So it was insane for me, right? And that really propelled me forward to continuing to find success and continuing to refine my edge and trade well. And since then, right, I've been able to secure myself several payouts of over $10,000 and more. I've been able to achieve other goals I've had, right, such as being on Topstep TV. I've been able to be a part of Topstep TV several times now, and it's been a blast every time I'm on there. I love the guys, love the team. They're awesome people, and Topstep definitely is, one of the best firms out there for futures trading and really changing people's lives. I can honestly say that being a part of Topstep, of the funded side of things, and trading with Topstep has completely changed my life and made things possible that before I thought wouldn't be possible. So I'm always thankful for Topstep. I'm thankful for the opportunities I have to be on Topstep TV. And I'm not saying all this to make it seem like I've made it, right? Like I've achieved everything in trading. 100%, I am nowhere near where I want to be as a trader, right? I have way more stories I can tell even after the success I've seen in my trading that I'm sure a lot of you can also relate to. It wasn't a straight shot. Once I got my first payout, I just continued to get payouts. I had moments where I got the payouts and then went through droughts, and it felt like, did I forget how to trade? Did I, am I a fraud? What am I doing? But it wasn't a straight shot, and it still isn't, right? There's always stuff to learn. There's always stuff to fix about yourself and really refine. And that's one thing that I love about trading is if you truly take trading seriously, if you truly put the work in, trading will make you a better person. It shows the things in you that need to change, not only about your trading, but also about your personal life and how you see money, how you see success, how you see failure. It really does change you as a person. And that's something that I love about trading, and I'm super appreciative of in trading. And just some random facts about myself so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. I'm a huge gamer. I love playing competitive games, some casual games here and there, but mostly competitive games. I like playing games like Call of Duty, Valorant, Counter-Strike, Escape from Tarkov, so games like that. I'm also a musician. I've been a musician my whole life. I've been playing the drums as long as I can remember, and I've also been able to produce music and work on different albums and been able to play that music in many different countries around the world. And I'm also a huge car guy. I love working on cars. I love getting them out. That's how I like them. Just overall love cars, and one day I'll be able to get my dream car through trading. Count on that. So before I end the video, I just want to say thank you for watching, and in the comments down below, leave any ideas you have for videos you want to see here or any content you want me to make. I already have certain video ideas and content that I want to create, but ultimately I want this channel to be a place where you guys enjoy the content and you guys are able to get value out of it. So let me know what ideas you have down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join the community that we're trying to build here, a community of traders that can support each other and ultimately achieve success together. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my video today, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.